Hey, what's going on, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. So I was just listening to what LeBron James was saying about his mentality and how he tries to put himself in a position to feel like he's winning even when he isn't winning the game. And I thought he was speaking to people who are challenging his mentality as it pertains to him being a killer or a leader or someone who can lead their team to victory and not fall to a defeatist attitude. I think the body language speaks to something different than what he's trying to convey with those words. And I think at the end of the day, what I was hoping to do here is just kind of bring to the table what I think is a solution to that uh, that statement that he put out there that I think he was trying to make, um, you know, so that people understand and qualify his mindset as someone who will continue to keep a winner's mindset. But I think the reality is to know oneself and one's limitations. I think that's what LeBron James needs to just kind of embrace while he's here in California. I think that's the one thing that we kind of are looking for from him. I think at the end of the day, what LeBron and Russ are both going to have to understand is that even though we're down right now, Laker Nation has been on this roller coaster for many moons, many years, and what they've done is they found themselves attaching themselves to our story. And I've been thinking a lot about that lately. It's like, okay, yeah, the Lakers, we've had a lot of success, but we've also had some very low lows on the court and off it, obviously. And I think when you join us, a part of what you deal with is some of just you joining in on what it is that we've just been a part of. But if you stick around a little longer, you'll see that we head back up to extreme highs as well once again. And I think for LeBron, it's more so about surrounding himself with people who can be what it is that he may not be. What it is that he's trying to qualify himself to be in our eyes. It's not about trying to convince us you're something that you may not be. It's about surrounding yourself with people who are that, so they can get, it can come together and be a championship caliber situation. And I think that's what it is. I don't look at LeBron James as a killer, you know, just like I didn't look at Kobe Bryant as an unselfish leader in that way. You know what I mean? It's like, it's okay to not be something. I looked at Bron as an unselfish leader. Someone who, because of not only his intellect and his ability, but because of his ability to bring people together and to kind of have people be lighthearted in the room and laugh, and that's the type of personality that I felt like he brings to the table. Kobe didn't have that. Kobe couldn't. Kobe, a lot of times it seemed people didn't want to come play with Kobe because they thought they were going to be beat up by him mentally and verbally, or should say, and not live up to his expectations or meet his work ethic and demands. It made for a very uncomfortable situation for a lot of people. And he was able to kind of shake that off over the years, but it was a time where it just seemed like people were trying to avoid him. You know what I mean? And Bron never had that issue. So to point out what Bron is and what Bron isn't to try to weigh him against somebody else. It's just to single out the person Bron, is to say there are other things that can be brought to Bron that'll make it so that he doesn't have to step outside of himself, that he can be his unique self and just be free, to say, what, I don't have the answers on this, and it's fine. What I can bring to the table is what I bring to the table, but I am, he can't be as honest to say, this situation, I can't help this. I might have ruined this with some of the things I suggested. I might have not have helped the situation, but as it is, it's no fixing it. And we're trying to pick ourselves up, and we're trying to figure out how to do that. I think that's the realest statement. Then, even when I'm losing, I don't feel like I'm losing, and I always keep a winner's mentality because that's what it is. It's like, no, man, a winner's mentality is not necessarily about explaining it at all. It's about the body language. That's where it's communicated. That's when it comes through. It's in, those moments when you slam that ball on the ground, looking at your teammates saying, can we get it together down here? Those are the moments when we start to realize that killer instinct, whether it is or whether it isn't. And so I think he finds himself disconnected from the people in a way when he speaks that way, because it's like, bro, we know that's not PR fake. You know what I mean? The stuff that you have to say to keep your business up, it's just not you. It ain't you, bro. You know, you ain't a killer. You're not trying to fight as hard as you need to when you down 40. You know what I mean? That's not everybody, bro. But what you do is you bring to you those people. You know, if I was Bron, I tell you, man, I was thinking about this today, but I would take a page out of Kobe's book as it pertains to finding all the people around the league that are a headache for me to guard and bringing them to me. all the teammates I've had, all the people like Patrick Beverly. I would want Patrick Beverly on this team. Isaiah Stewart. I would want Isaiah Stewart on this team, because the way I see it is just like Kobe sees it. If you're crazy enough to go up against me, then if I can win you over, I know you'll run it through a wall for me. And I think that's some of the energy that's lacking from this roster right now is fire. You know, somebody that'll look LeBron James in the eye and actually like really, really hold him accountable for whatever, however, even if they're right or wrong, but somebody that won't make him feel like they're walking on eggshells around him. I think that's the type of thing that'll keep him going. You know what I liked? Kuzma. When Kuzma pushed LeBron into that defensive play, that moment right there, that's what's not on this team right now. That's what we don't have. That anybody who would do that. And I think that fight that has created the politic ball, as I call it, or the political atmosphere surrounding this year's team, I think has made it so that people haven't been willing to step on one another's toes to fix problems. That's what I think has happened down there. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And as a result, not only do you see a lack of effort on the floor, but you also see a repeated mistake being made, like putting Carmelo at the center over and over again, or, you know, seeing guys play out of position or starting the wrong people repeatedly. These type of things, you need somebody in the locker room who's going to raise holy hell when these losses start to pile up to this point. That's what I'm saying to you. And if we had a Patrick Beverly on this team, we would have never even gotten to this point. If Isaiah Stewart was in practice swinging at people, either the environment would have been worse, obviously worse, but most importantly, you would have seen people on the floor angry at something, at least something. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what's lacking on this floor, on this team right now. Is just someone who will care enough to light a fire underneath the squad and have that carry over in a positive way. And Bron is not that person. AD doesn't have that personality. And I think maybe my suggestion might be speaking to them trying to be somebody they're not, because they're probably not the people who want those type of people around them from a day in and day out basis. But I think if you want different results, you gotta start thinking outside of the box. And I'm not talking about bringing awkward fits to you, but more so bringing the type of personalities that are gonna bring the energy to the opponent that we're not bringing this year. And we can blame injuries. I've been thinking a lot about Kendrick Nunn and how that mid-level exception has gone to him and what that represents. And how bad we've looked out there since he hasn't played all year. I've been thinking a lot about, you know, how obviously the Lakers didn't want to move forward with different roster decisions in the offseason, and how that may have played into the psychological aspect of how guys look at one another when things started going wrong initially. You know, maybe some things were said that was only possible because of the circumstances created by those deals and those doings. I just don't think it was a great atmosphere for good chemistry. You know what I mean? Starting this thing off the way that we did, building the team offensively, and punting the defensive aspect of the game, just in how we put the roster together. You know, you just see that. You know, players that have obviously been lacking in production for years, haven't played big roles, you know what I mean? Seeing as if we've had so many injury issues. Really some that were foreseeable, obviously, when you consider that it's a COVID protocol year. you just understand that this was not built to win a championship. It was built to satisfy people. Really, that's what I see there. This is a roster that was built to satisfy people, and if it happened to win a championship, voila, that's what it looks like to me. You know, they wanted to bring Russell Westbrook home, satisfying LeBron. You know what I mean? Clutch management had their own thing. What they wanted to do. Players had to skedaddle for reasons that didn't really make any sense, to be honest with you, giving away the type of players that we gave away to get back what we got back. It was just a lot of stuff that you just look at and you say, I mean, going forward, I think it's incumbent upon the Lakers to make decisions that are going to build for their future and stop this nonsense right here and now. This politic ball, the way things have gone with the atmosphere as I speak of it, it just needs to be changed. You need an infusion of different energy into the Lakers organization. And with that energy, I think will come better decisions, less bold, I guess, but less bold decisions. I mean, I would say bolder decisions, but in a better direction, I guess. You know what I mean? This Russell Westbrook thing, the risk versus reward situation, as it pertains to weighing the risk versus reward, we should have known better. The risk far outweighed the reward in regards to acquiring that contract, and everything has gone down ever since. You know, we everything has gone downhill. So yeah, that's what it is. Enough of this rant. I'm gonna go eat some lunch and listen back to this and just think about more things that I think are really it's kind of gonna sum up what it is that this thing has been about this year, man. Because I'm looking at it and I see so many holes in this Lakers situation. It's like all over the place, from their defense to your front office to roster construction to just all of it. How you're valuing assets of the future. It's all bad, man. It's all bad. So, you know, this thing, you know, we're on the verge of being the Raiders, you know, of basketball going forward. Like, I'm talking a long time of bad if we don't start making better decisions. May our next move be our best move. That's what I will say. My name is BDF44. I thank y'all for watching.